Dude, I literally like walked around the bar top, went to the restroom, peed, washed my hands. So what, 45 seconds in there?
Right.
I come out and there's this guy who's like, she's sitting at the bar and he's got like his arm around her seat and he's standing up where I was sitting, my beer and everything is right there. Like I had walked by the guy and like any guy that I see in public, I'll give him a little like this, like a little head nod, up or down.
Yeah, it's just be like a bro acknowledgement.
Yeah, just like, hey, I acknowledge you're another guy here. Like, I remember walking with this other girl and been like, hey, I bet I can make this guy nod at me. And she was like, what does that even mean? And I just walked by him and I was like, and he does the same thing, nods his head down. She's like, what is that? I was like, I don't know, it's a guy thing. If I were to do it to a girl, she'd be like, what the fuck?
It's so normal for a guy to nod at another guy.
Yeah, it's just
I remember the first time I thought about it being normal and weird. Like, the first time I thought about it after doing it, I mean, obviously we've been doing it for years, but I was like 16, 17, and I was going into a movie at Vista Ridge, and I saw a kid that I went to high school with, but he was like years older than me. I think I was like a sophomore, and he was like a senior, and like I knew that. And like we had never, ever talked or like even really made eye contact. It's just someone you knew was there. And then I saw him coming out of the theater and I was going in and we did like the full nod at each other. And then I was just like, oh, you kind of just do that.
Yeah, it's just like an acknowledgement. Yeah, you're just like, I acknowledge that you're there. I'm not being a douchebag and walking straight by you.
It's weird that you do it though.
So coming in the bar, like this guy and I had acknowledged each other's presence, like, hey, I'm here, blah, blah, blah. And like I was talking to her and we're flirting the whole time and whatnot. I go to the bathroom, 45 seconds, come out. And he's like got his arm around, her seat, and then like my chair is right in front of him, right in front of his chest, and like his front. And so
that's interesting.
I was just like,
okay,
just walked around.
It's like power move or like
I was like
weird flex, but okay.
Yeah, exactly. Weird flex, but okay.
All right, like whatever.
And so I like walked over there, and as soon as I come around the bar top, like the way her face was looking was, they didn't know each other, and like, as
you could tell.
Yeah, so as I'm walking up, I like start trying to listen into like, oh hey, how is so and so, or how is this, see if they're catching up. Right. But they weren't, and she was just kind of like, yeah, sure, man. And I was like, hey, excuse me, and he was like, what's up, man? And I was like, can I sit here? He's like, if the lady allows it. And I was like, oh, great. And I moved his hand, went underneath, and I was like, appreciate it. And I sat down. So he's right here. I'm looking at her again.
Yeah, he's behind
I've got my beer.
You inserted yourself in front of him.
And he was like, what? And I was also like, okay, he's in my peripheral still. He's like not directly behind me. But I was like, he could smash a glass into the back of my head at any point. And so I turned and looked at him. I was like, have a nice night. And he was like, okay, you too. And I was like,
he was trying to put together like, oh, I guess they do. Like he came here with her. Like it was just starting to hit him where he was like, oh, they're here to get. Oh, I look really stupid.
Oh, I need to go. I look sit fucking back stupid. With the homies now. So I was like, in my head, I was like, I don't know if he made a bet or whatever, but bold move, weird flex, but okay.
Weird flex, but okay.
Go sit back down.
I dig it,
son. And she was like, oh my God, that was weird. She's like, obviously I'm here with you and this and that. And I was like, yeah, don't worry about him. I was like, but do you mind if we like, switch seats up? Because first of all, I need to see the door. And now he's standing behind me. Yeah. So I need to be able to,
Hey, what would Jason Bourne do?
What would
honestly, though, Jordan, he would have been facing the door from the start.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That is kind of, but maybe she was in front of you and she took that seat, and you don't want to be like, move.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, nah, that's my seat.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, we went another place together, and I was like, actually, I need to be able to see the door. And when we sat down, actually, she's like, hey, look, you can see both doors. Like she had said it to me first, so I was like, okay, cool. She knows. She knows what Jason Bourne would do, and I don't know. I just thought that was really funny, but I just have a weird thing about not being able to see people in my peripheral, or like with my peripheral.
It doesn't seem weird to me. It probably seems weird to some listeners who aren't like you and I, maybe in that sense. But we're maybe call it paranoia.
Call it just, what coaches taught us, or
just general prep in life. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's very important to be aware of your surroundings. So sure. If you're the protector of the two that's there, because shit could go down at any one point, while you're out and about.
Get in the jam.
It's like if she sees some shit go through the door, she might not think anything of it. But if I see some things through the door, I'm obviously trying to be aware of my surroundings the entire time. I'll be like, hey, we need to get down. We need to duck down. Hey, we need to get out of here. Or I need to take care of this. Yeah. So
or like, hey, I need to run around the back. I need a linebacker tackle this guy, pick up his weapon, take out all 8 of his henchmen. Save the day, become like a hero, maybe get a job at like some private mercenary thing or company. But
those thoughts continuously cross through my mind
every time I'm anywhere.
Anytime I'm anywhere and I sit down and I can see a door, that's what's crossing through my mind.
I'm like, man, this subway is about to get lit, and if it does, I'm fucking ready.
I've never even been in a subway.
You've never been in a subway?
I've never been like on a subway ride. I don't think I might have walked through one.
No, subway.
Oh, like a Subway sandwich? Yeah. I thought you were talking about a Subway.
That's why it's more ridiculous. That statement's more ridiculous as a Subway sandwich store.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I've never been oh, my God. I thought you were talking about like Spider-Man Subway in New York City or something like that, where actual stuff like that is more prone to happen than a sandwich shop.
So did y'all have any other problems or anything else crazy happen while y'all hanging out?
Not anything like related to like a violent encounter or like alpha male testosterone type of tendencies, but she was we weren't really on our phones, which is what I like when I'm with a girl. I'm not on my phone. If you're on your phone the whole time, I'm like, invite them here. Like,
right, what are you doing? And
so she gets a text and she just starts busting out laughing, and she's like, oh my God, ha 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 ha, my neighbor just texted me. And I was like,
like, cool. I don't
That's
know
cool. I don't know who your neighbor is. Who's your neighbor?
Oh, is he cool?
Is he a cool neighbor? Nah. So she was like, no, look, my phone neighbor, and she showed me her phone. She's like, this is my number, but one number different. And I was like, oh my God, that's funny. And he was like, hey, like, what's up? And this and that. And I told her, texting back and this and that. And I told her, I was like, hey, ask what his other neighbor thought. Ask if he texted the neighbor on the other side. She's one number up. He texted one number down. He sent her a screenshot, and that person was not cool with them texting them.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, they were like, I'm your neighbor. We're basically family. And that person was like, whoa, I take family very seriously. Like, we are not family. Like,
so it's probably some weirdly older generation dude that's just like, I don't get jokes. I don't get these things. Like, you're a fucking, what is this?
Yeah, and so I told her, I was like, hey, why don't we text your neighbor's neighbor? And so she texted that same number, and he freaked out on her too, and was like, I'm blocking this number, I'm reporting you. I don't know what kind of fake bullshit this is, but y'all need to cut it out. And I was just cracking up the whole time.
Dude, okay, I can't believe you said that because, yesterday I got a tattoo, or like on my chest. We can talk about that right after the story, because I was in the kitchen with everyone, like, and we were like planning dinner and stuff, and it was 9:10. I look down on my phone and I have a text from my number, but one different.
What?
And it says, "What's up, number neighbor?" But they spelled it WASSAM, like Wassam.
Oh, what's up?
Wassam.
Wassam.
Wassam. And I said, "Suh, dude."
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
And they put LMAO, and then I was like, okay, what's something funny I can say after this? And I put ASL question mark age sex location, like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
How old are you?
I need these details.
And it's like, that's what you used to do on like AOL and like chat rooms and AIM, and like I grew up in the generation of like AIM screen names,
right.
And they said, what that mean? And we all were like, oh, well, they're like young. Like,
younger.
Like, anyone over like, and then they put never mind, and I put exactly. I was just like, I'm done. And they go, you got IG?
Oh my God.
And I said, yeah, but I'm a 28-year-old dude, by the way. And they go, never mind.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm bringing this up on my podcast tomorrow. That's
hell yeah.
And they put
oh my God.
LMAO with like tons of O's, and they go, you do podcasts or YouTube or something? And I told them. They didn't respond to that. But I was like, okay, even if it was like a weird situation where like a 15-year-old dude texted me, like, there's nothing bad about being like, hey, listen to my podcast. It's funny. I'm shouting about.
Yeah, honestly. And they might like it
and
too.
Follow us on Instagram. Like, get all your friends to
That's hilarious, dude. That happened on Saturday night?
Yesterday. Last night. Yeah.
Dude, it happened on Friday night.
I feel like this is like some like
that's probably something that's
older
going
dude
around.
that's probably probably like our age, honestly.
Yeah.
Like in their 20s, that was just like
trying to hit up a random chick.
right, hoping that it's a girl.
Hoping there's a 50% chance
Right?
this is a girl.
That's why I was like, okay, it's either a young teenage boy who's just like same thing, because both of those theories are based in like they're not based in logic. Like the chance that just, you know, so a 16, 15-year-old boy doesn't have any logic when it comes to shit like that.
At all.
And then like a 27, 28-year-old or someone like us is either just like bored.
Doing it for shits and giggles.
You're either bored and doing it, for shits and giggles, or you're a 16-year-old illogical person in your mind.
Exactly.
So I was just like, there's no harm in telling them that like, hey, I have a podcast, I'm going to shout this out.
That's hilarious.
If you, whoever texted me, if you hear this and you comment on our IG, we'll, I don't know, figure something out. We'll give you a sticker or something.
Yeah, we'll give you a sticker and a shout out.
Yeah, sticker and a shout out, because we're going to get stickers made. I mean, now we have to.
Yeah,
but
well,
you know.
We just promised you a sticker, so we'll get you.
Yeah,
we'll get you your sticker.
Right. And if anyone happens to randomly text us, you'll get a sticker. How about that? That's
yeah, for sure.
Every text that we get.
If you can find out my number and text me, yeah.
But you have to not already have my number.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you already have my number, then it doesn't count. But if you're a fan in some... Okay, that's a weird... We shouldn't invite people to just like...
Yeah, I don't want my phone to blow up with a bunch of random strangers. Yo, where's my sticker? I'll be like,
where's my sticker?
Man, I got to make a bunch of stickers.
Okay, you have to start with more than that. Like, you have to earn the sticker.
You got to make me laugh.
Person, like,
you have to make me laugh.
Like, big, like, not into it at all after finding out.
That's pretty funny.
It's funny.
Y'all should have snapped him a picture of your tattoo.
I thought about showing him my tattoo, just being like
this is the kind of,
be like just me, you know? And but then I was like, it's weird because I can't have a shirt on, and what if it is 15-year-old dude? Like, I don't want to be sending like shirtless pics.
That's weird. That's
you know what I mean? Like, what if his mom picks up the phone then is like, why is this grown man showing you like his bare chest with a tattoo?
Yeah,
like,
maybe
it's weird, right?
Yeah, I'm glad you thought that through. I'm glad my neighbor didn't text me because I'd be like, oh, what's up, dude? You want to hang out? And it's like some little ass like 15-year-old.
Since it's the same area code, like, I mean, they could really be anywhere. Like, they could be in any kind of like 20-mile radius. Like,
yeah, it's like a pretty big radius.
Yeah, it's
actually.
2 and 4.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, they literally be.
I work with a lot of people in Dallas who have 214-972 numbers. I mean, I have a 469 number.
Oh really?
Yeah,
mine's 2 and 4.
Yeah, I have a 469. So
that's funny.
Yeah, but dude, the tattoo right now is looking so.
Hold on, before the tattoo, isn't that crazy though that you're like she and I a day apart?
That's weird. But I think it's something that's going around. It's like a joke thing that's going around. I might have seen something like that on Instagram or Facebook.
Chase was like, oh yeah, dude, that's like totally people are doing that. Right now.
It's like something. It's like a cool thing.
But yeah, yesterday, 7.5 hours.
God, that's like a day's work.
Yeah. I mean, I was there for like 8.5 total. Honestly, actually about 9 total.
Is that including breaks and whatnot?
Well, yeah, because it took like an hour to set up because we always just bullshit. We were picking colors. I had to sign in, and they had like a new system, and I wasn't in there, even though.
And where is this again?
Oh, Rebel Muse Tattoo in Louisville.
Okay.
They just opened up a shop in Dallas too, downtown Dallas, but it's a sick shop. I mean, it is kind of one of the shops you could walk in and just be like, I want this thing, but it's not a street shop, right?
Right.
If you're serious and want a sick piece, like you're going to book a consultation with an artist. And a lot of people don't know the process for getting a tattoo. Actually, this is something cool to talk about because a lot of people think you can still just walk in, and you can. And on Saturdays and weekends and stuff, like they'll post on, tattoo shops everywhere will post, be like, hey, come in, walk-ins are welcome. That's totally fine. But if you're wanting a sleeve, if you're wanting a full chest piece, if you're wanting like a big detailed piece that this dude's gonna have to draw, you know what I mean? And like really figure out what he's doing, like you need to make a consultation.
Yeah.
If you are just coming in to get a little something, like absolutely just stop by, because that's a session that an artist wasn't planning for that day. So that's extra money. Like they're stoked about that.
Yeah.
But what they're not stoked is when you come in and you're like, I want this 15-hour piece today.
Yeah.
I only want to pay $200 for it.
Like something like the Majin symbol on Vegeta's forehead.
Exactly.
Like
little symbols,
boom,
yeah,
little
they're
symbol.
Stoked about that kind of stuff because they can do it quick. It's not that bad. They can draw it up there. But if you come in and you're like, I want a tattered flag behind, with coming through my skin ripping, they're like, okay, well, they need to plan that.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I need to
they're not going to be
out.
mad. Like, no, they don't hate it. They're not going to be mad, but they're going to reassess your expectations. They're going to be like, okay, well, I need a week to draw this, and we're going to book it, and it's
especially if it's an artist that is high quality and really cares about the work that they're putting out there. They're
Well,
not
that's
just
why
going to
Rebel
put
Muse-
anything out there.
Yeah, that's why Rebel Muse to me is like the shop right now, because every artist up there is so professional. They're so capable. They have so many artists that are different and like just excel in what kind of art they do.
Really?
I mean, like truly, no matter what you want, you could find it at Rebel Muse.
So the guy that did your tattoo, his name is Hank, is that correct?
Yeah, Hank Kuya.
And he specializes in what?
You can say he specializes in like Asian style, but what
Okay.
I have is a real Americanized Asian style, but it's very Asian based. I mean, I have a dragon full dragon sleeve that wraps around, and I just got an Oni mask on my chest, which is like a demon
It's like
mask.
a demon samurai
Right.
looking.
Mask. It's a sad, angry. That's the emotion. Sad, angry. In agony. That kind of face. So it's not a screaming face, but it is screaming. But it's that mixture of pain.
It's like sorrow and like resentment.
It's also feminine too. There's like a feminine, like the 2 red dots that are up at the top. That's part of like old geisha makeup. So like a lot of like the masks are kind of based on that makeup style.
And he's got long black flowing hair. I like that it's flowing. It looks it's not like a black
We're gonna
matte.
post a picture of it on the page probably today.
Yeah, so you'll be able to see it, but it's teal. It's a beautiful teal color in contrast with the red on top and that impact. It's beautiful.
And it's not done. It's like the first full color session, but it took like 3.5 hours to finish the hair, just to make the hair perfect. And right now the hair looks fucking perfect to me.
It looks great.
It's really dark and
I
black.
want that haircut.
It's like a gnarly haircut.
It's pretty cool. And it goes so well. The color scheme and everything goes so well with the dragon.
Right.
And the dragon's wrapped around his arm and it's eating its own tail.
Right. And the head placement of the dragon. And Hank Kuya at Rebel Muse, he did the whole sleeve and doing my chest, and he's going to do the other side of my chest. So like all of this is him. And, a lot of it's his brainchild. A big reason why we work so well together, me and Hank, is because I'll be like, these are the few elements I want. Okay, I wanted a dragon. I wanted it wrapping around, but I wanted it, I wanted it consuming its own tail, kind of like an Ouroboros. And I was like, we could do a small circle thing, but I don't know how you can make that a whole sleeve. He's like, oh, well, we can do, like an infinity kind of, but it wraps around your entire arm, like in a 3-dimensional sense. So it's not just, that was Rocco, by the way. Happy birthday, Rocco.
Happy birthday, Rocco.
He is 6 years old today. We can touch on that in a second. Good boy.
Doing his job.
But yeah, so, and then I was like, and I want green. I want it to be green. And he was like, cool. I will take care of the rest. And then I was like, oh yeah, I kind of wanted a yin yang, like kind of incorporated somewhere in the background. He goes, well, what we're going to do is we're going to put the yin yang on your elbow, and it's going to be the pearl that he's pulling out of the ocean. And I was just like,
You're
at that moment, I was
You're
like,
a genius.
You just took 3 simple like little things I wanted, and you just created it in your mind in 5 seconds. And then he started drawing it on me, and he had the head already drawn.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like stencil. Like he drew it, but like he made it perfect.
He's been wanting to do something like that.
And so, well, I mean, this was weeks after my consultation. So, no, what I'm talking about right now is the consultation. Sorry. And then after that, he drew up the head in like the first tattoo session of my sleeve. We placed the head, and we placed it like 6 different places and kept taking it off, like the stencil, and putting it on there. And we finally got it perfect. And like when you see the picture, if you ever see a picture on my sleeve, it's not a typical where like the dragon head would be. It's in an unusual spot for a head. Like it goes across my tricep, bicep, the middle of my elbow. Yeah, my crease in my elbow, my forearm. It's not just on my forearm or up on my shoulder. Like it goes across.
Yeah, the tattoo of the dragon ranges from the top of his shoulder down to his wrist.
Yeah.
I mean, and it goes completely around the tricep, the bicep, both sides of the forearm.
What's crazy
it's a full
is he
sleeve.
put the head on there, and then with marker, he drew everything else. He drew the design of the body right then and there. Got it perfect. Took 45 minutes. We started tattooing.
That's just raw. That's like raw talent that was honed and refined into like amazing skill.
And like the amount of detail, it's with this style of like Asian, it's not super bold lines. Like there are bold lines that are there, but it's not American traditional where you have bold, thick black lines and then thick palettes of color and then another thick line. This is I like
really that because it really amplifies the detail, like you just said. It really amplifies
for him to draw that, like the little lines and to make them that straight and that perfect, like other artists were coming in, and these other artists are incredible in their own sense. Like they do amazing work, but they're like, damn, Hank, like that's fucking crazy that you can just like draw like that. And a lot of them can do it too, but with their style. They were impressed with Hank doing this style so on the fly and just perfect. And I mean, he's thinking about, okay, well, you know, they have this many claws, this okay, but typically when they're in this position, you're supposed to only be able to see 3. Okay, the scales need to be going this way. Oh, the flowers, okay, we want this number of flowers because in that culture with this is what it was. And like it got so deep, and I was just like, that's why I want you doing like my sleeve. Like you're the fucking man. Like this is more than just a tattoo for you.
Oh,
like
yeah.
He was really involved, and we've become good friends. Like Hank's one of my favorite people on earth. I'll always be friends with him at this point. We've spent over 100 hours together in the chair. So, or close to 100 hours. But yeah. And so with this mask, like we got there and we picked the colors and fucking he did
teal
3.
is beautiful.
And the rest of the mask is gonna be white, so the white's gonna be mixed in with this teal, give it a real like cool fucking look. And the horns are gonna be yellow gold, and all the clouds black. Obviously, it's gonna pop. The sleeve pop. So I'm stoked. To 7.5 hours of getting fucking stabbed, but it was sick. It was sick, and then coming home and then getting the fucking text message from
that's hilarious,
neighbor. Dude, it was just like, what the fuck,
dude? That's so funny. It's funny that it happened. I don't know. I can't get over the fact that when you're telling me that earlier, and I was just like, whoa, wait a minute, like, this happened to us too.
Yeah, you know what's crazy is that, or not what's crazy, but afterwards, like after that guy and all of that, when you were like, did you feel any bit of his presence? Was he watching you? Did he have it? Did you feel any kind of like, obviously you felt fine, like protecting yourself, but like, could you tell that like he was like watching y'all now and all like pissed off? Was he like staring at y'all like this motherfucker?
Well, as far as like feeling his presence, I kind of felt eerie with him just being right behind me.
Yeah.
I think I kind of have a reason, come to think of it, for people standing right behind me. I'll let you know in a second. But when we switched seats, you know, and I got to see him and whatnot, I think he was just kind of like, ooh, I'm going to go see if I can check out this girl and whatnot. I mean, some guys look at it like a game.
If like, that's kind of how you want that dude to handle it.
Yeah, I didn't
like maybe
want to
the beginning not be so fucking clueless, but if he's willing to just be like, oh, fuck, I'm an idiot, and then just go try to fuck someone else. You know what I mean? Like, the guy who's doing it like that's probably not going to succeed anyway.
Yeah,
and if
exactly.
he does, like whatever, like okay.
I was like, you didn't even buy her a drink. Like, what? No, you're
right.
Not. I'm like do something.
Right. Like, why don't you carry 36 roses with you at all times when you go to the bar 100%. And be presenting them? I mean, that's what the girls want.
That's what the pros do.
Right. But all the same color. Give them one to each girl. You hold your own bachelor. I mean,
my god!
At the bar, you wear a tux.
The live
wherever
bachelor.
You go. Yeah.
If you had a cameraman with him, I'm sure the girls would dig it a little more. They'd be like, "Oh my god, am I on this show?
Dude,
I want to win."
That would actually be
that
a
might actually
funny
be
video. Just like walking around like nice restaurants and that, like we'll get you super like we'll go to a barber. Like not that your hair's like crazy. Or
clean
anything.
up, clean up and everything.
Get you, like,
cleaned up,
like,
shaved up, nice looking,
sick suit, dude.
Oh
and
yeah.
We'll get a camera crew. It'll just be and like just like roses. Somebody will like we'll get a girl with like a headset and a clipboard, so she'll look like kind of like she's producing. And we'll just like walk around and then you can just hand out roses.
It'll be the Slightly Erect crew.
Yeah, we don't announce what it is or like do anything, and then we leave.
And they're like, wait, what's going on? I have this rose and I have so many questions.
right. And then or maybe we not leave, but we do something because I like pranks like that don't ruin people's day.
Right. Just a quick giggle, a good laugh.
Giggle.
A lot of confusion.
Don't interrupt, because we're going to be doing this at like maybe a club or a bar, place where you're already out having fun. We're not going to be walking around a school campus when you're trying to get to class and trying to get your number, like those college, like that.
I'm not a big fan of those.
Or people who are like go up and like, hey, you want to fight? or like you want to throw hands and then they throw out a hand and like throw like stupid shit because like, or they take someone's phone and run 15 feet and they're like, oh, I'm just kidding, and then they film the reaction.
Yeah, those I don't know. That's like a weird, because you're looking for a reaction. So if you steal something from me and you're running away, I'm like, okay, my reaction to this, I need to take my possession back.
Like also like,
oh, this is a joke. This is a joke. You look like an idiot.
But it's not a joke because I don't know you. Yeah, but handing someone a rose, dressing up like this, pretending you're a camera crew, not interrupting their life, and we're not going to be doing this to like people that are with their significant other or on a date or like they look like that would be really good. That'd be like a group of girls or something like that, and you go up to them because there's a lot of groups of girls and girls that are there by themselves. And it's innocent, and like we're not going to be like. You're not going to be like hitting on them. You're going to be very polite. You're going to act like you're on like a network television show. Not that I don't think I'm a gentleman, but I'm going to be a gentleman to them. You know, like for sure. There will be no slightly erect presence in your vibe. You not will be at all. Fully put together. Be like far from slightly erect. We could. Are you? Let me ask you this: are we going to go super truthful, where you're, your name, or we're going to come up with a new name, new persona, a new backstory? I mean, you already have. You're fine. Yeah, I think I'm fine, but I am slightly erect, so I might need to dive into that personality and really get into character. Some Adrian Juarez type mentality, and just be Mr. Rico Suave. But yeah, back to what you were saying about me being kind of eerie or kind of aware of that guy's presence after being right behind me for a little bit. Yeah. There was a time where I was out with someone who was actually a former he was basically my boss, shit. Okay. And interested. We were out and about together, and we went to a bar and grill. Yeah. And it was just me, him, and his little best friend. And his little best friend is a little bit like weird. He's just like in the in the movies, like the villain has his little right hand man, and he's like, "We're gonna get you," and he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna get you." Oh, he's just like a little fucking he's an echo box. Yeah, an echo box like an echo chamber. Yeah, exactly. He's like his hype man, but like you'd be like, "Let's go," and he's like, "Let's go." Yeah, and then the boss is like, "I'm the one who gets the last word." He's like, "But boss, I wanted to tell him we gotta go." That's kind of how I portray. So he a little bitch. He a little bitch. But anyway, I'm sure you've gotten this too, training and whatnot. Right. MMA, boxing, jiu-jitsu. This guy was probably like 39 or 40, like the guy that I'm talking about. And we were at this bar, and he's getting a little overloaded. Okay, oh, shit. Okay. Drinking. Hey, it's you're trying to buy us a round of drinks, and I'm like, okay, I'll buy a round of drinks. Oh, you gonna get us some shots too? And I'm like, yeah, I can do that. I don't mind, whatever. And so I get a round of shots. I got Jameson. That guy got something kind of inexpensive, and he's like, "Ooh, you're buying? I'm getting Patron Silver." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, you can get like a $10 shot. That's fine, whatever." Yeah, but cool. The way you go about it, I'm like, yeah. Why you? Hey, you mind if I get Patron? Not at all. Hey, I'm getting Patron. Okay. So yeah, he gets it. Weird flex, but okay. Yeah, weird flex, but okay. Weird flex, but okay. So boom, I down my shot. Boom, little dude downs his shot, and then little dude, he's actually a little person. Yeah, he's around my. I meant like that was a midget. Oh my god, that'd be crazy. That'd be literally like a what if you just like Disney didn't midget it until like right then be like, oh no, but like he's a little person. Yeah. No, smaller framed though for sure. Yeah. In comparison to the man that I'm speaking of, who is like 250, just at 6 foot, for sure. He's much bigger than I am. Yeah. And so he takes his shot out of a shot glass in 4 to 5 different sips because he can't down it, and he's already pretty saucy. He's already a little fucked up. Yeah. So 5 shot. Yeah, exactly. So I was like, okay, that's weird. You're just being kind of a dick, and you ordered that shot, whatever. I was like, not trying not to take it personally. And then there's a group of 7 guys behind us, and they're talking loud and whatnot, and he's like, man, these motherfuckers need to be quiet before I start getting upset and this and that. And I was like, it's like, so I don't want to have to help defend you against 7 other people. No.
and I don't think I could do that anyway. You know, like I would be fully
right. Like I don't want to do it, and I can't.
Yeah, I can't do that. Like I'm gonna get hurt for sure.
We're all gonna get hurt.
Yeah. All
your brain's already a mess from all this alcohol. You're gonna fall and get hurt.
Yeah, like you're getting destroyed by 2 people. Our third man is running away, so it's me versus the remaining 4 or 5 people, and I'm not about that life yet. You know, what would Jason Bourne do? I know what he would do. Am I capable of doing what he was doing? No.
That's also a secondary use of that. Is what would Jason Bourne do? Oh wait, he would do this. I can't do that.
Opt out,
bro.
Opt out.
I just thought that is crazy.
Yeah, you gotta think
both sides
of the coin right there.
I've been looking at that phrase only through like one lens.
50%. Yeah, only one side of the coin.
Side to it.
So this is why I have that paranoia of people being outside of my peripheral vision. Is because when we were leaving the bar, he's stopped talking shit about those people because they're no longer in our presence, and he directs all. This guy's a bully. Okay, he directs it toward me because his little homie will just back up whatever he says. He, proceeds to tell me, that I was a Golden Gloves runner-up back in the day. I know how to throw those hands. This guy's from Oak Cliff, and he would always
93 maybe.
Yeah, I know, right? When I was 0, and so he was always boasting about him sucker punching people. He'd be like, yeah, this homie said this, blah, blah, blah. I turned around. He turned around. I turned back around. I slugged him right in the back of the ear. And I'm like, that's how you give people brain damage.
Yeah.
And that's
what the
not.
Fuck is this asshole?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, dude, it's not even worthy to mention his name.
Yeah.
I don't, but I was just like, that's not something that you should brag about. And it's not even something that you should do. That's just a dishonorable, type of way to fight. Like, that's not a fighter. That's someone who
I don't like you at all, man. Like, that's not cool at all.
Cheap shot,
especially
easy
if you
way
know
out.
Fighting.
Exactly.
Cheap shotting is so just.
He's like that YouTube guy who will ask people to spar him, and as they're putting
Charlie Zinanoff?
Yeah, and then he'll start teeing off on
bro,
people.
We can go on about Charlie Z all fucking day.
We'll go off on him later.
I'm all deep about Charlie Z, that piece of shit.
We'll go off on him later, but I'm walking back to the truck, and he goes, I'm not one to talk shit either, unless we're in a competition setting.
Very true.
I don't talk a lot of noise. But he, is, I was a Golden Gloves runner-up, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, so you have lost. Because he said he was a runner-up. And he was like,
that's funny.
He's like, yo, if I were to lay this right hand on you, on your chin, you'd wake up next Tuesday. And I turned around, and I was like, oh, that sounds pretty cute. That sounds good right now.
It sounds good right now.
And I turned back around, and meanwhile, the entire time, I can see him in my left eye peripheral, just at the very back. And when I said that and I turned back around, he vanished. And then it got quiet, and I didn't hear him. And then I heard, and it's his footsteps coming up behind me. And so, originally he was 15 feet behind me. I turn around and look because I hear the clunking of his boots, and he's 3 feet. He's shaking his hand out like this, winding up, cocks back, and throws a straight.
What?
He throws a straight at me as I'm turning around. And thank God for Coach's teachings, I slipped the punch, and instead of coming in with a left hook, I slipped the punch and I came in and I grabbed him by the throat and I pinned him up against the truck. And I was like, what the fuck are you doing? And he grabbed me by the throat because he's a lot bigger than I am. His arms are bigger than me. So when he grabbed me, it
pushed you back.
It pushed me back, and I let go of his throat. And so from underneath, I chopped upward
and broke his grip.
Yeah. And I was like, if you do that shit to me again, we're going to have a whole nother set of problems.
Right.
But I was also confused. I was like, this guy's my boss. We're just kind of out on our own escapade.
Yeah. No, I totally get it.
And then his buddy's here, and it's their word versus mine. I didn't know how to react, so that's why I didn't punch him in the moment. I just grabbed him and reprimanded him. And he's like, man, get back in the fucking truck. We're getting out of here. This day's over, And it was, the day was over anyway. But it was a pretty weird experience.
That's a weird.
It's a weird guy.
I mean, yeah, that's a good, after experiencing something like that, being capable, or not being capable, but being conscious of okay, I need to keep in mind of what's happening behind me.
Yes.
I think that's just really smart to know anyway. What if you're at the state fair and you're walking and there's a mom pushing a cart with her baby, you know what I mean? And they're right behind you. and you're not paying attention and you just like stop, like, well, like nobody's gonna get hurt or anything, but then like something happens, like you get hit in the fucking feet, maybe the baby comes out, like
yeah,
there's a little
exactly.
thing, if you're just a little conscious of like that, okay, there's someone behind me, when you're wanting to stop and look at something, step off to the side.
Right.
I can't stand it when people don't know that like that I'm like behind them and like they're stopped in the middle of the fucking whatever, like in the mall or in front of something.
They hit the hard brakes, and you're
right,
like,
in the grocery
skirt!
store.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're not moving, and you're like, do you not care that there's other people around you? Like, I don't.
Especially at concerts and fairs
And I don't
stuff.
mean in like a move for me. I mean like, I'm not like constantly like, oh my God, I'm in people's way. But like, if there's someone who needs to look at something, like,
common
I'll
courtesy.
step out of the fucking way. And there's a
common
lot of people who
courtesy.
just either don't care or they don't realize it. But
or they're unaware of their surroundings.
right, and being aware of just like what's happening around you for not just like threat purposes like you experienced with this dude, right? But just for like general, like general living amongst other people.
Exactly.
Just like
yeah.
everybody.
There's a lot of people here. Like, you got to be aware of your surroundings. If
like
not, we
driving.
would have
We
car
talked about
accidents
that.
all the time.
Fucking
Exactly.
Just like be aware that like what's going on behind
Especially with driving. And actually, I've got two younger brothers. They'll both respectively be 18 this month, and then the other brother next month will be 20. So
Okay.
I mean, they
Yeah.
like to go out at night. They like to,
They're still having fun. They're
still
shit.
having fun. I mean, they're not party animals, but they still they go
Right.
to parties from time to time. And my mom is always telling them, be careful, be careful, be careful.
Right.
You know, and that's what she told me, and I think
what
it's great advice
everyone
for
told-
sure.
yeah.
But when my brothers walk out the door or whatever, hey, I'm over at my parents' house. Hey, I'll see you later, bro. All right, hey, be aware of your surroundings. I just throw that out there.
My dad always said, keep your head on a swivel.
Right.
And like the first time I went to Mexico for a week, he was like, Hayden, I'm serious, keep your head on a fucking swivel.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was there, I kept my head on a swivel. And like,
I agree.
felt like I felt like I was a lot more aware of things that were happening, you know, and like really paid attention to it.
Otherwise, you're just tunnel vision.
Right.
You're just, this is what's going on in my little world, just what's in front of me, and there's this whole range of things that are happening around you. That's why it's important to be mindful.
And it's not even like it's not even about, assessing threats always. And it's not always just about trying to make sure you're not in other people's way, but it's also about experiencing things. Like you might see something happening cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like you might not have ever looked down that street and seen that sweet guitar shop or pawn shop that you want to go into because you're always just walking this path, looking at your phone, looking forward, not carrying around what's going on, not knowing street signs. Like when I go places for the first time or something, like I pay attention to what streets are around there.
Yeah, you take note in your mental map.
And now like I have a really good sense of direction of like anywhere around the Metroplex. Like I really do.
That's good.
You know,
I actually had the worst sense of direction until I was like a sophomore, junior, and I met Wonder Boy.
Yeah.
He's a good friend of mine. He was a roommate for a while, and he's my longest training partner. I've trained with him for almost like 8 years or something like that. And when I first met him, I was always the driver. I would drive everywhere. And I'm not like on my phone in my car a lot, but like, I mean, otherwise than like switching music, I don't really like to text and drive, but I would GPS everything. Hey, I live here.
Right.
Oh, okay, send me the address.
Right,
and then,
right,
boop,
right.
And
Like
then
Tom Haverford from Parks and Rec.
Oh my God, yeah, exactly. And so I'd be looking at my phone to get the directions and relying upon that without taking in what was around me. Until I met Andrew, he'd be like, you don't need your phone for this. I'd be like, what? He's like, no, I know where to go. You got to turn. And he would use landmarks and street signs a lot and where the old blah, blah, blah used to be. And I was like, I think that's kind of important because every time we got lost in Dallas, because we got lost in Dallas a few times with a dead phone,
you can find your way. You might have that
home.
initial like whatever panic for a second, but like if you know directions, if you know highways, if you know like how they intersect, how they change,
or
like,
get me to 35 and I can get home. You know, exactly.
Yeah. And that's like a good first step in those like a major like highway, but then like you learn like everything how to get to that highway.
Exactly.
Right. So.
And where it leads and this and that. So yeah, I'm pretty fortunate. Shout out to Wonder Boy for helping me with my sense of direction. Because it was bad. Yeah.
I can't remember like the last time I was like super, super lost with something. I'll say this, with fucking GPS on Apple CarPlay, I fucking hate it.
Really?
Because I hate that like it comes up on the screen of your car.
Dash? Yeah.
But then like if I want to do anything, like if I do want to pick up my phone for a half second, and like change music and not do it on like the screen, or just look at something on my phone for half a second, it takes it off the screen. Like I don't like that it's the Apple CarPlay makes like mirrors your phone. I want it to be an extension of my phone, and it doesn't feel like an extension.
It's
it
all
feels
integrated,
like it's
right
there.
entity.
And so like, yeah, I know the purpose is to make it to where you're not on your phone while you fucking drive, but I'm not like sending full text messages while I drive either. Maybe I just need to look at something. Maybe someone texts me and I just want to look at it real fucking quick. And like, you know, I do feel like I'm a capable enough driver to do small tasks while driving, you know, not talking about, like, if I have a really long something to say, like, I won't text while I'm driving. Like when me and you text, I'm always like, all right, about to drive home.
Yeah, always. Yeah, you always tell me that.
And then you're like, cool. And then I'll text you like when I get home about something.
Yeah, I saw a bad wreck on Friday when I was talking to you, or I was talking to you, and you were like, okay, I'm on my way home. I'll see you in a little bit. And then you texted me. You're like, hey, I'm home. And I was like, oh, I'm actually just now leaving Dallas. And when I was pulling out of the parking lot, there was a bad wreck, man. It was bad, and I was just like,
how many cars and shit?
It was just like a 2 or 3 car wreck, I think. But like it was smashed, and one of the vehicles was a van too, like a big like a construction type van.
Oh,
you know, so like I was like,
there's some weight,
some heavy impact there.
Yeah,
and you know they're pulling like a baby out of the car and stuff like that. So just fragile life and this and that. So I was just like, I'm really fortunate that my friends are smart enough to, you know, not be.
That's so crazy. And you can be fortunate, and you can be smart, and you can not do it, and then you can get hit by someone else who wasn't doing it.
That's where it comes back to being aware of your surroundings.
Exactly. Be aware of what's fucking going on. And obviously things happen where you can't. Someone blows through a stop sign at 70. They're going so fast, maybe you don't see them coming up to the stop sign.
Exactly.
You know, like there's some things you can't control, but you know. But I got hit on the rear-ended on the way to training once.
I have too.
Yeah, and like I saw it happening, and I was in stop traffic. So like I was stopped, like, and I couldn't go anywhere. And so I just looked up and I was like, ah, shit. I think I honked my horn a couple times, like right before, but they slowed down. Like they slammed on their brakes and then hit me.
And then skidded. Yeah.
So like I got hit, not going super fast, but like I had to put my car in the shop, and like it had to get fixed.
Oh, yikes.
Oh yeah, it was full. I was late to training. Pretty sure coach was not happy. And I was like, I got in a wreck.
He'll hit you with the, I completely understand. Start doing your push-ups. Start sprawling.
He's like, all right, I really couldn't control the wreck happening.
You don't understand that.
Like, you know what? I'll just do these for personal development and growth. How about that?
Exactly.
Personal development and fucking growth. So, whatever. But
that's usually what you have to dumb it down to. You're like, this is going to make me better in the long run anyway. So
I might as well do these.
Yeah, I might as well do
this ridiculous task that was given to me.
It makes punishment for other things not as bad.
Dude. Okay, punishment. A couple podcasts ago, not this last one, but maybe episode 5, me and you had a meeting about stuff before the podcast, and I had drank a Celsius.
Oh, I remember this.
And you drank Celsius. Then we drank another Celsius each. Or did we split?
No, we drank a Celsius and a half total.
Yes, because we split another Celsius. We also had taken some Alpha Brain from On It, which is great, but it has B12 in it.
A lot of it.
Yeah. And then we took more Alpha Brain.
So I think all in all, we drank a Celsius and a half each, and then we took a serving and a half of Alpha Brain each.
And I think I'd had some coffee maybe before.
Yeah, I don't think I ate a lot either.
Yeah, we hadn't eaten a lot.
And,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, so as far as where you're going with this, with punishment, we definitely got, well, it was great in the moment.
Yeah, we felt fucking great.
I felt amazing.
We had a good flow on the podcast. I think it was before episode 5. Yeah,
I think so.
This last one. Yeah, we felt great during. And then as we were leaving the studio, we went downstairs, hung out. We came back up for something, and when we came up again that second time to like get something from the studio, we both felt so dizzy.
I just was like, oh, power down.
Dude, I felt nauseous immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, it was like 5 o'clock, I think, at night, and on like Sunday or whatever. And I was out. Like, I had to lay on the couch. I puked multiple times.
I almost threw up. Like, I was like, ugh.
I couldn't get up,
God.
dude. From like 6 p.m., I was out till like midnight. I had a little energy again at midnight, but like, I felt so fucking bad, dude. It was totally a caffeine overdose.
It was a caffeine and vitamin B12 overdose.
Like, it was...
And people don't realize that. I mean, they, when they take a lot of supplements and whatnot, they don't realize that you can overdose on vitamins, and it does have some effects and whatnot. Vitamin B12 especially, you overdose on that. I mean, you have like almost a euphoric type high. I mean, it's not like anything compared to like a drug, but you definitely increase that serotonin type, and all those neurotransmitters is what I mean.
Right.
And so when you come down, they come down.
Especially, I think, after Alpha Brain and the caffeine.
Both of them together. It was a caffeine crash, a caffeine overdose, and then the same with the vitamin B12.
And, like, I drink Celsius all the fucking time.
And coffee.
I
had a nitro cold brew this morning.
When I drink multiple Celsius in a day, which is very rare, it's like... because I had one super early that morning, and then I had no coffee that day, and then it's 5:30 and I'm about to work out, and I just want to power through this workout, so I have another Celsius.
And typically then you're very hydrated and you're well fed.
Right, and it's been all day. I've eaten multiple meals. I haven't had coffee. It's just, it would be like having a few cups of coffee that day, like 4 or 5, which is like a lot, but okay. But we had all this shit within like an hour and a half. Hadn't eaten that much. Like, it all had to have been digested and processed like at the same time.
Right.
And just like... flooded.
And I don't remember having any like heavy fats or high fat. Like I didn't have any avocados or anything like that for breakfast that morning when I came over here.
Yeah.
And eating fats before you have your coffee will help to slow the absorption rate of that caffeine.
Ooh, okay.
And so,
helps it last a little bit longer through the day. Like
and you're processing it all at once.
Right.
It's kind of like going and getting drunk after not eating dinner,
and I'm saying all this while having my second cup of coffee today. But it's 1 o'clock.
Yeah, I had one nitro cold brew this morning, and
those are
I actually
fucking good.
Yeah, oh my god, they're so great. But I actually spaced it out because of what we experienced. I think that was like 2 weeks ago or something. But
dude, I didn't drink caffeine for like 2 days after that.
Oh, I was a little scared,
and I felt weird for like probably 36 hours, like a day and a half. A day and a half. I felt weird. Like, still, like, a small amount of, like...
Well, it's like a small overdose, and then you, like, quit cold turkey.
Like a weird hangover.
Oh, yeah. It was, your body's a little weaker, too.
Yeah,
I went to practice.
Definitely felt weaker. I didn't work out.
I went to practice.
No. I did work out, and I felt great after working out. Like, a day after. I felt great. Like, I sweat through it, and, like...
Right,
That's when I started feeling better.
Going into jiu-jitsu practice, after that, like, the day, or...
Yeah.
I think it was the next day, I went in there and I was just like, man, my legs feel like uneasy and shaky. I don't feel right. But once I warmed up and got, sweating and kind of, I guess, got it out of my system,
you were starting to feel better.
Yeah, I got my system running back to normal, rev the engine like normal. I felt a lot better. So just a fair warning when you're dealing with supplements and
you gotta be fucking smart.
And caffeine, which is a drug, performance enhancing drug type. I mean, I'm not talking about steroids.
We should really look at what the word supplement means. Like, it's supposed to supplement with a good diet.
Right.
Like, you need to be doing the other shit that helps those supplements do their job.
Exactly.
If you don't have any fucking water in your system, if you don't have any food in your system, maybe this specific supplement doesn't want you to take it on a full stomach. Cool. Then take that one on an empty stomach.
Exactly.
If it says. Yeah. Right? But
read the directions.
Yeah, you have to be doing the other shit, right?
Don't go overboard.
With your diet, with your digestion. Like, you gotta make sure things are working properly on the inside for those supplements to have the effect they're supposed to.
And on the subject of supplements and being safe with them, I would recommend only using supplements that are NSF approved, and it'll have a little NSF on the label.
Okay.
And that just means that they're tested by third party. Clinical trials have been done, which on it supplements have been. There are supplements that I take other supplements from other countries. Other companies.
Yeah.
And you look for the NSF approval, and you can trust the company a little more because the company trusts other third parties to come in, test their products, final batches, random batches, and so you're not going to necessarily find banned substances.
Right. You shouldn't.
So be careful for that. It's a real thing out there.
I mean, I that wasn't my first time having like a really bad experience with like having too much caffeine, because I remember a couple of years ago I was like starting to cut weight for something, and we wanted to go down a weight class, and there was this like fat burner that came out called Extreme Knockout. And like Diego Sanchez was like sponsored by him, and a bunch of fighters in the UFC were sponsored by him, and they're like, this helped me drop a weight class. all those fucking things are insane amount of fucking caffeine.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
like,
It's a natural thermogenic.
Yeah, but like...
But you overload on it, and it makes your metabolism...
Right, and I'm 28.
Speed up.
I mean, I probably took it at... I mean, I was probably 22, 23 at this point. And so I was a little bit in my, like... And this was before I was really paying attention to nutrition and supplements. I was just like, oh, I'm trying to lose weight. Diego Sanchez takes this. I'll fucking take it.
Right.
And so... It specifically said not to have any other caffeine. But then I was just like, but they can't expect me not to have fucking coffee. Like, that's fucking stupid. Like,
you kind of
people have
reason.
coffee. Yeah, I reasoned it, and it was retarded. And I fucking had multiple cups of coffee that day. I had the extreme knockout. And then I was like, I think... For some reason, I had just gotten like a sample pack of something from like GNC or something, and there was a Jekyll and Hyde pre-workout.
Oh my god, I've heard of that.
It's so fucking gnarly.
Jekyll and Hyde, and then Jacked 3D is what it was called.
Yeah, it was Jekyll and Hyde. I'm pretty sure.
Bad.
And I took it, but like the pack was like a double pack. Like, were you supposed to tear them off individually? But I tore them both.
Oh no!
Thinking it was one.
Just not reading the serving
So then I had
size.
2 servings of that with tons of coffee and this caffeine supplement. I felt so wiry and sweaty during training. Like, I was sweating so hard. I had energy and I was going crazy, but I didn't feel right. And then afterwards, I was sitting there and I was like, Nate, I need help going to the bathroom, dude. Like, holy fuck! Like, I felt like I couldn't walk. Like, everything was like coming in around me, and I fucking I blacked out and like fell down for like a few seconds. I felt like I basically passed out.
Yeah.
And it was fucking bad. I had to drink like a half gallon of water and like cool off and wash my face, and like I felt okay. And like after like an hour, but like enough to like drive home, but. It's weird is that like even with all that, I didn't feel like I felt last time, like a couple weeks ago.
Oh, a couple weeks.
Like,
I think that's also because of the vitamin B12 though.
Probably because I puked. But when that happened the first time with like the supplement, I just did like a little blackout. Just did.
I know,
like,
right? Like, it's
I just
nothing.
fucking like blacked
I just
out,
blacked out,
like
passed out, woke up a couple minutes later.
13 seconds, like, you know. But yeah, so fuck, dude.
Just be aware of your surroundings. One.
Oh, you know you can fail the drug tests in the UFC. You can, well, I guess it's USADA, but you can fail for too much caffeine.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And so a lot of fighters will take like the morning of their fights instead of going to Starbucks because you might get like extra strong or something like that. They take like a caffeine supplement, like a really small, so just to have like so their bodies
just so they're
if there's
still
someone
normal.
who takes caffeine, you
for
know,
sure.
drinks
I
caffeine.
believe I remember Chael Sonnen talking about that because I mean caffeine
That's exactly
is
exactly who I first heard it about.
Caffeine technically is a drug. It's on their list. If you have too much in your body at a certain point and they test you,
it also
comes
can fucking
up
kill you,
and you'll fail. Yeah, it can.
There was a kid who died in Australia. He was making a protein shake and he put a straight caffeine supplement, like caffeine powder, and you're supposed to use like a very small and he used like multiple scoops and had like thousands of milligrams of caffeine. And he fucking died, dude. He was 19. He was a
healthy,
kid,
or like your body should be pretty healthy at that point. Yeah.
And he was just looking to add something, and it was like in the article they said it was just like in the back of his car, like it was just like an extra supplement his buddy had like given him to try or some shit.
Damn.
And I was just like, dude, imagine dying, like your son dying from like, it's not even like a crazy mistake to make.
It's really not. It's kind of a simple-minded mistake.
Like,
to
it's
be honest.
dumb, but
it's just
like,
unaware of like serving sizes or unaware of what you're supposed to be putting in, how much you're supposed to be taking in.
It's so fucking crazy.
It's insane.
That's so crazy.
I mean, if especially to like the younger crowd, like my brothers, people who like to, it's the serving size is 1 scoop, but I'm going to take a scoop and a half.
And
just
like,
just be sure that
right. Are we talking just straight protein? Okay, that's fine. You're a growing man, growing boy. Like an extra scoop of protein's fine, but don't do an extra scoop of pre-workout.
It's not necessary. It's already got a large amount of caffeine anyway.
Yeah.
Then and then it has other substances in there that help open your blood vessels, that help blood flow and circulation. Yeah. So that caffeine is being amplified. So you really don't need to feel that itching, tingling in your ears and in your palms. That's not a good thing.
You're not going to sleep well. Like it's out of my system, but like kind of. It's out of the immediate effects are out of your system.
Caffeine,
but it's still
exactly.
going.
Caffeine has a 6-hour half-life. So I mean,
and
it's
I can't
in
imagine
your system
that
for a while.
With the crazy pre-workout that it wouldn't be longer with the other shit that's in there. You know, it might be 7-8 hours, but like, yeah.
So
I mean, even like when you're like sick, some people just like stock up on vitamin C. That's good, but like
get that from fruit.
get different fruit, and also don't drink 7 packets of it. Because like, you can get a fucking kidney stone or something. Exactly. Or you're not going to feel good. And you can shock your system from too much fucking vitamin C. And,
of course.
And all that shit. And I'm sure tons of fucking people would do that.
So, I mean, if everybody around you has the flu and you feel the flu coming around, you start feeling a little sick, maybe eat your normal serving of fruit, and as a supplement, maybe take an emergency. Just 1 pack, as a supplement. But you should be using them as supplements to a good diet, to a nutrition.
If you're starting to feel sick, or it's the wintertime and you work at a place, like you work at a retail store and everyone's getting sick around you, then maybe have 1 with breakfast a day. Or after work or something, just like for a week or 2.
And space it out away from your fruit, space it around meals.
Yeah, exactly. So just have a little bit in. So
maybe do half the powder in the morning, half the powder at night. I mean, there's ways to introduce it to your system without overloading your system.
Dude, this talk's making me kind of want a protein shake because I haven't eaten today. After my tattoo last night, I was like, I want some calories. Because I'd eaten during the whole thing, because you don't want to get tattooed on an empty stomach. Like, you want to bring protein and granola bars or something like that to have while it's happening, But I was just like, dude, I just went through like 7.5 hours of getting fucking...
stabbed.
Yeah, like assaulted with a needle.
Microscopically assaulted.
Like, I paid to get assaulted for 7.5 hours. Like, hey, bro, fuck me up with that sharp thing in your hands, like for like the next full day. I just wanted something, and it was like 9:30 or it was like 10 o'clock, and I was just like, fuck. So we ordered Domino's, but I got nothing but like thin crust, and it was so fucking good. I ate probably half of what I usually eat, but like I felt fine. To this morning, I felt fine. I didn't feel like super fucked up from
bloated,
overeating pizza last night, and my weight didn't really change, and it was because like I didn't overdo it. Yeah, I had something bad, but I didn't overdo it, and I made it a little bit better. I made it
less carby.
Yeah, thin crust. Like, obviously that's not healthy, but it's better than having, just like full fucking crust. But I was hungry. I ate a good amount, but it was still half of probably what I usually eat because I'm a piece of shit. And I mean, as far as like epic cheat meals go, and like when things get crazy and you're like, say fuck it and you eat, I don't know if there's anyone who can eat like me, dude. I haven't met it yet.
I've seen you eat some big meals and then follow up with the desserts.
Oh, bro. Like, when I go off the deep end, it's like, hey, I'm Aquaman. I'm going to go fucking sit at the bottom of Mariana's Trench and be just fine.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm the only, like, person that could ever go down there.
And then you wake up in the morning.
And then I wake up in the morning drowned in my own sorrows, not able to move, right? It's borderline eating disorder. It would be way more of an eating disorder if it was, like, 6 times a week or, like, 5 times a week, but it's, like, once.
But also, like, when we've had our cheat meals and we've talked about our cheat meals and whatnot, you're like, okay, I had X, Y, and Z, but I didn't have this.
Now.
And
there's
now.
A lot
and, now, like I'm talking about our new program that we do and we implement with one another. But we had our cheat meal at that really good burger place. What is it called? Kenny's Burger Joint, dude, which was amazing. We'll do a review on them in an upcoming podcast sometime later down the line.
Yeah, it's in Plano.
But we went, and I don't think you drank.
I didn't. I didn't have. You had a beer.
I had a Shiner. Yeah. I had all the carbs that are associated with sweet potato fries and the burger, and then we talked about dessert. It was up in the air.
Yeah, and then we were just like, we already had all this other stuff.
Yeah, we had these 2 things. Let's cut out one. So I think it's about winning small battles.
Yeah, especially if like you're not. Are you trying to make weight for a tournament? Right. Is it 3 weeks away? Is it a month away? Cool. If it's not, then like.
Enjoy yourself.
It's okay to have that fucking cake. It's okay to have that. But you and I, like, we have goals of getting to a certain weight, being a certain level, right? And so for us, we were like, okay, we're willing to have a cheat meal. Mm-hmm. We're willing. It had been weeks for me. It'd probably been like 3 weeks since I had overeaten
more of a treat meal.
Exactly. And it's not a burger from Whataburger, which I mean that's. As far as fast food goes, that's the king burger. This is Whataburger, right?
So good.
As far as fast food burgers go. But like we went to a place where they use like
high quality beef,
right?
We got
sweet potato fries. Our appetizer we got were bacon wrapped jalapenos. So
those
like,
are good.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of indulged, but we didn't have that a massive amounts of sugar and an extra 800 calories or whatever it is added on top of it.
Exactly.
And we were conscious of where we were at towards our goals before the meal, and we knew where it would put us after. So like, if you're conscious about it and you're like, at the end of the day, like, I was like, yeah, I really want to get to this weight, but you know, it's not for a purpose. It's not like if I don't get to that weight, like I'm gonna die or not be able to fight. Like I don't have it's not for a fight, it's for a personal goal.
Exactly.
Okay, this is only gonna set me back this far, and I'm realizing it. And tomorrow I could just eat a little bit cleaner, maybe have some more greens, hydrate a little bit more, and maybe run an extra 15 minutes, sweat harder, and in 2 or 3 days it'll be gone, and I'll be better than I was a few days ago. Like it won't put me back that far.
Exactly.
But if we had that ice cream and I had multiple beers, shit like that, then we're talking like, oh, I just lost a week of progress.
And then it affects you the next day. You wake up, you're like, I don't really want to work out. Your mentality's a little shot. And then you're kind of like, oh, well, I did this yesterday. I'm going to do it today.
Yeah, and that's how you can kind of get in like a 2-day, 3-day like bender.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
I mean, it's happened to me before.
Yeah,
but, you know,
and then like
it's been a while ago.
You know, can put you back weeks, and it can just kind of fuck with your mentality.
For sure. So
it's all about just like being like aware, you know, like being aware of like where you're at with where you want to be, you know, like how far are you towards your goal? Is your goal realistic?
That's a big thing too. Is your goal realistic?
Like I want to lose 70 pounds in 2 months. It's not happening.
Yeah.
You want to lose 70 pounds in a year? Let's go.
Let's
talk
do
about
it. Let's plan it out, map it out.
Right.
Know where you're going to go with this goal.
Right.
And, you know, commit to it. A lot of it is committing to it, but all this talk of food is actually making me pretty hungry.
I'm getting really hungry.
Yeah, so I think
let's go eat.
On that note, let's go get something to eat.
Yeah, let's go eat. All right, guys. Make sure though, we are now live on Instagram. We're fully going. We're up on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
We've got at this point, this is episode 6 we're recording right now. Episodes 1 through 5 will be on there by the time you hear this. And when this drops, from now on, we're going to be dropping YouTube and audio same days, right? Monday.
iTunes.
Yeah, sorry, iTunes. So Monday and Thursday.
Exactly.
We'll be dropping iTunes and YouTube. Subscribe, like our videos.
Stay tuned and let us know what you think.
Definitely. On Instagram, we're going to be engaging a little bit more as far as Rachel goes. She's really wanting to
get herself back out there.
Yeah, she's coming into her own light.
Yeah.
Coming into her own light. So I'm going to post some pictures of the tattoo so you guys can hear what we just described. And, you know,
we'll see you next time.
Yeah.